What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 14. Getting up there in the numbers, everybody. Today's podcast, we're going to be going over a double match day week, games on Wednesday and games on Saturday, with the added spice of rivalry week. It was awesome. It was hot. It was spicy. Things got heated. Are Messi and the boys still in trouble? Is Orlando legit? St. Louis still losing, as well as LA Galaxy? What is going on? We'll cover it all today on the Crack Soccer Podcast. Stay tuned. Check it out. Bang, 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 bang. We're getting right into it. Fern, what's good, man? Say what's good to the people.
What's going on, guys? Ready to start talking again for 4 hours just to piss everybody off, talk a bit more.
Talk about Barcelona.
Yeah, no more Barcelona talk. The season's over.
Exactly, man. I know y'all let us know about Barcelona, but honestly, if you guys actually watched some of the podcasts, you guys would have known that we weren't actually wanting them to be into the Club World Cup. We were just hooking you guys with it. But anyways.
I mean, maybe I wasn't joking that much, but I was joking.
Maybe. Who knows? It's up to you to decide. We'll see.
Yeah.
And again, my name is Angel, El Capitan, Reyes. We'll be discussing today on episode 14, match day 13 and 14 from MLS. A couple other little things we'll kind of throw in there here and there, but for the most part, we'll stay focused on the MLS. But before we get into all that, before we get into our correct performances, before we get into our picks and other major headlines, we gotta check out the leaderboard. Fern, let us know how we doing, man. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness. Dude, why is Lopez so close every single time?
Well, this week he got 11 right and you got 10.
Oh,
so
dang.
He's like,
honestly,
forward. Like after I was looking at the picks that he sent over and everything, I was like, bro, this guy, I swear this guy got like every single game right.
Dang. Wild. That's over both of the Wednesday and Saturday? And
yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah,
Got
that
it.
was both of them. He had 11, you had 10, I had 8 out of.
But there was a lot of games. There was
28,
28
29,
games,
30,
28 games this week.
69.
So, yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, I feel bad because we keep asking you this, dude, but you're in 78th place. Or sorry, 70 points. 78 points. You have 78 picks correct. You need to get on the board a little bit more. Maybe you got to change up the strategy. Maybe you got to pull.
Yeah, I think I feel like I'm not going very safe right now. I feel like falling behind. I'm kind of trying to think outside the box and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe this team will win this week and whatnot. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter because they tied, but I couldn't remember if I did LAFC or LA Galaxy. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to pick the LA Galaxy. So I put myself on there. And I mean, they tied, so it didn't matter. But I just feel like I'm trying too hard now. Like I'm kind of, I'm like falling behind. So I'm like, dang, I need to do something. But I feel like I might as well just play it safe and see how it goes. So because you guys are boring and you guys keep going the safe options and everything. So
well, sometimes it happens. I mean, there's definitely some games we've called where we're like, hey, maybe this upset will come into play, but we'll see.
I mean,
you could be like Lopez and just call every upset.
Yeah, true. The one game I did pick this past week that I noticed you guys didn't was actually the Chicago Fire versus Charlotte. So I was like, hey, at least I got one you guys didn't, but it doesn't matter when you guys are getting 2 to 3 picks more than me.
Yeah, for sure. No, just the other day I was just looking up, I was at the MLS shop and I was looking at some jerseys. I'm like, yeah, maybe when I win this thing, you guys can get me a nice San Jose jersey or maybe an LAFC jersey. It's like, yeah, it'd probably be nice to have once this is all said and done. If y'all didn't know, that's what we're playing for. Whoever has the most correct picks at the end of the season has to get a jersey bought by both the two that did not win. So that's what will be the prize.
We'll pick whoever ends up last in the league. So
we'll pick what?
Whoever gets last in the league is the jersey you're getting.
Oh, there you go.
Whoever wins is the jersey they're getting. I shouldn't say you.
That'd be funny, actually. That'd be pretty good. Nice. Well, that was the leaderboard. Let us know kind of how we're doing. We post our picks every single week of who we believe is going to win on that match day or match days, given the depending on the week. But let us know. Let us know if you guys also agree. Let us know if you disagree. Leave it in the comments. Like, share it with your friends. We'd love to just interact with you guys, just kind of on who we believe are going to win and then who you guys believe is going to win. So we'll keep this leaderboard up. Going right into our correct performances of the week. Fern, let's kick it off, man.
All right, guys. So for me, I am actually gonna go with a team that you usually don't see on the correct performance of the week, and that's gonna be actually the big rivalry of the weekend was El Tráfico out in Los Angeles between LAFC and LA Galaxy. And you know what? This game, I just feel like it had, I don't know if it was because it was the last game, but it just felt like it had everything. You know, it had offside goals, it had free kicks, it had bangers by Boanga. And it was honestly going into this week, I said that maybe they should switch the Orlando Inter Miami game with this one. But obviously, the MLS knows what they're doing because Orlando beat Miami 3-0, and this game was very entertaining. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know what, I feel like the Galaxy could have won this game. They definitely, towards the end, they definitely had more of like attacking chances. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Let me see. I'll look at it.
You're talking about Pep.
Paintsil. No, Paintsil.
Oh, Paintsil.
Yeah, Paintsil came into the game and he kind of just like started like running after every ball and like like that was kind of my critique of them earlier was they just stand around. But this guy came in and he just started like running after every ball, and that's kind of what you want to see. You're haven't won a game all year. Why are you guys just standing around? You should be trying as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was a really good game, very entertaining. Unfortunately, ended 2-2. It would have been nice to see a winner, but at least it wasn't 0-0. So
it does look that it wasn't a tie, but like you said, this was really fun to watch. At the end of the day, I wish we could have gone to it. It was definitely something that we were considering, but we didn't end up going.
Yeah.
But dude, you're right. Like Sunday night soccer, dude, like perfect. And this is honestly the best I've seen LA Galaxy play. They definitely wanted it. They definitely tried.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like yes, it tied, and it was like it sucked for both teams. But if you're an LA Galaxy fan, at least it gives you some hope. You know what I mean? At least it gives you a little bit of hope. There is a chance that you will win a game at some point.
They have to. They still got like 20 games. If they don't, then they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. But
well, they're not going to get rid of the coach. We'll get into that later. But
Yeah. And then my cracked player of the week. Little. Oof.
Nice.
Sprayed all over my keyboard. It's fine. Here's my boy, Marco Reyes.
Ooh, Marco Reyes.
Yeah,
how old is he?
He's 36.
35, 36?
Older than me. So, had to wear the special edition jersey for him today. So.
Such a slick jersey, dude.
Yeah, it was nice. Worth the money. But Marco Reyes, honestly, this week, probably their two best games the entire season. Unfortunately, neither of them were a win. So in the first game on Wednesday, they played the Philadelphia Union, and Marco Reyes actually had 2 assists in that game. And they were winning 2-0, and then they ended up losing 3-2. So unfortunate for them, but that's just kind of how they are this year. They just can't seem to, be consistent. Yeah. And then on Sunday against their rivals, LAFC, they had he had that one goal that was a bit of a lucky goal. He just happened to be in the right spot after the Loris parried it, happened to land at his feet and score it. But his second goal was crazy. Like, every time you see like a free kick, it can be scary. But when they score, it just had that perfect like up and down. Had the goalie, had Loris kind of like not knowing what he was doing, just kind of moving all over the place. But that was definitely a good goal, and it was I think like 3. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but not too long after Peck's goal got disallowed. So it kind of just they already had the momentum, so it kind of helped them, keep going, and it kept that momentum.
for sure.
So
Yeah, no, that's a solid pick. I mean, that's so much easier, or sorry, so much harder to do. Like easier said than done to kind of have a free kick where it literally just goes up and over. Like that's just so hard to do, man. And he did it so well. And I think it was so funny. I don't know if people watch, the Spanish commentation of the MLS games, but the guys on there were like, "Hey, this guy might be 35. He might have a bum knee. He
oh
might be
yeah,
older, but he still got it, man. He
I
still
was
got that energy, man."
I was gonna text you because I heard him talking. I'm like, why are they doing my boy dirty like that?
I
Like his
know, it's
knee
really
might be
funny.
messed up and all this. I'm like, okay, you don't have to say all that. Come
He's playing at a high
on.
level, man, and he's scoring goals. What more do you want
Yeah,
from him? And giving assists, dude. He's playing good. But yeah, solid
definitely.
pick, dude. That's solid.
But and yeah, so now going into my last pick, which is the pour one out. I'm gonna have to pour one out for our losing friends out at Montreal. It was not a good week for them. I believe, yeah. So they played Columbus Crew Wednesday. They tied 1-1.
Which is
Which, you know what?
wild.
Like that's like looking at this score and then realizing they tied 1-1. Maybe they used up all their energy on Wednesday against the
Yeah,
Columbus Crew.
yeah.
But yeah, and then I think me and you had Montreal winning. Um, or did you have Toronto? Maybe that was another one.
I
The
might have had
mistakes on my
Toronto.
end. That might have been a mistake on my end, but I'll fix it if I need to. But yeah, freaking Toronto came in, and I put a note on here, saying that I was pouring one out. It was a battle for last, and Montreal definitely proved why they should be last in the Eastern Conference, because to make Toronto FC look that good is really, really hard.
Yeah,
RSL came close, but not this good. And
yeah.
then yeah, Bernadeschi,
Two
scored
goals.
2 goals, 2 assists. First person in what club history to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he had an amazing game, and yeah, I mean, shout out to Toronto FC. You destroyed your rivals on rivalry weekend and
Yeah.
showed them they can't talk to you. So
Yeah, it's solid, dude. I mean, it's so funny too. Like, I think I might have mentioned this last week too, but these two played each other in like the Canadian League like tournament thing. I don't know if you remember. It was like the Canada Cup or something like that. And Montreal actually beat Toronto, and the fans were just absolutely livid, man. Just like losing so many games in MLS, and then losing that game against Montreal in the Cup, the Canada Cup, and dude, they were just so upset. And I just guess they've just had enough. Like the fans have had enough, and the players like, okay, guys, we got to win. Like we got to do something here. And finally, they get a solid win, a commanding win against Montreal. But like, hey, it's a win.
a win is a win. They did it against RSL, which aren't the
Yeah.
worst team this year. So that definitely shows that they have like the ability to win these games that need to be won. So it's nice. If the Galaxy could do something like this, it'd probably definitely save their season. So,
Yeah, for sure.
and I double checked just barely, and you did put Toronto, so I am gonna go add a point
Oh,
to
you
your
dang.
lead.
You had me as Montreal, dude. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry. So you are now at 87 instead of 86. So I'll just
Nice.
put that
Nice.
right now. So
I was gonna say I
I don't
was
know.
looking at it and I was like, yeah, I had Toronto for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I don't know why I did that, but just so you know, look, I'll even right
We
here.
corrected it. It is now up to date. It is perfect.
It is corrected. So let me show the people real quick, just so they're not saying I lied. Look, 87, 87.
Beautiful. 87. Where I need to be, right at top. Like
Bro,
it.
that's freaking. You're 9 points ahead of me. That's crazy.
That's like a whole week's worth of picks.
I know.
That's
Don't
wild.
worry, I'm gonna get them all right this week.
All right, all right. We'll hold you to it. Nice, dude. Solid picks. Love to hear them. And then going right into my correct performances. My correct game, dude. A lot of good games. I was looking at San Jose versus Miami on Wednesday. Super good game. Had an idea that it was going to be an offensive slugfest. Definitely was. So I liked that game. It's not my top one though. LAFC putting that hurt on Seattle 3-0. That was another good game. Honorable mentions for me, honestly. At the end of the day, though, I think there were so many good games Wednesday as well as Saturday of the weekend. But I think I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia versus LA Galaxy on Wednesday, man. Like it was just one of those games where everybody thought that the LA Galaxy might be able to pull this off. They might be able to get a win. this week, and then it just gets snatched. It gets snatched from them in one of those fashions where you're like, dude, like there's no way you guys can blow this 2-0 lead. But if soccer has taught me anything, even growing up playing soccer, 2-0, a 2-0 lead is the most dangerous lead. I don't know why. It's a saying that I've always heard since I've been little. They always said, hey, if you're up 2-0, you got to assume it's 0-0. Play your buff. Don't get too confident. And I think LA Galaxy just got a little bit too confident. You know what I mean? So hats off, man. Hats off to Philadelphia Union for getting this one. You know, they came back in the second half, goal in the 48th, goal in the 50th, and then at the very end with Ty Baribo, 90 plus 6, the 96th minute, just to seal it off, man. Like they just kept fighting and fighting. I watched a good chunk of this game, and Ty definitely could have had a couple more goals here, so it definitely could have been something more like 4 or 5-2. Just kind of giving some of those missed opportunities. But at the end of the day, look at that. I mean, 57% possession. The tide definitely switched as soon as the second half started. Like the momentum just completely shifted. 22 shots for Philadelphia Union, 3 with LA. Nuts, man. Like I just couldn't believe, that they only got 3 goals, Philly Union. But, at the end of the day, sorry, LA Galaxy, y'all lost, and then y'all tied on Saturday, still winless. But Philadelphia Union, man, going up top of the Eastern Conference. So that is definitely my cracked game of the week. And then going right into my cracked player of the week. Just a solid performance all around this whole week. Ty Baribo, man. I mean, the guy balled out, dude. He had 3 goals this week. I believe he also had an assist. Maybe not. No, maybe it was just 3 goals. Maybe I'm tripping. Just 3 goals this week.
I double checked just to be safe, and it was just 3 goals.
Okay, yeah, just 3 goals this week. 2 against LA, 1 against Atlanta. Both of them kind of gave both. Basically made them win both of those games. So awesome job by him. Not only are these goals pivotal for like Philadelphia Union as a team to win these games, but it also puts him at the top of the Golden Boot race. So he now has 11 goals this season. I believe it's 11 goals this season, which is putting him, kind of a little bit maybe behind pace, the record. But nonetheless, he's definitely kind of leading there and obviously putting Philadelphia top of the Eastern Conference. But I did want to ask you a question here, Fern. Given that he is the top of the leaderboard for the Golden Boot race with 11, do you know what the record is for most goals scored in a single MLS season? How many goals, and then who scored that many goals? Do you know who holds the record?
If I had to guess, I would probably say 26.
Good guess.
And I want to say Messi, but I don't think he scored that many. But
of course you guessed Messi.
No, but the name that comes to my head is like a Clint Dempsey.
Okay, yeah.
Or what's his name? He played for Toronto, like Adebayor or something like that. I can't think of what his.
Altidore, Josie Altidore.
Altidore, yeah.
Okay,
him.
no, those are good. Those are good.
Those are
thoughts.
Just because those are like big MLS names, so
Right. No, that is not correct, but they were some good picks because like some good ideas because I those people kind of come to mind, right, when you think about it. But the record actually is 34 in a single season, and this is regular season. Okay,
I was off by 6.
By somebody from our nationality, Mexico, actually.
Oh my gosh, I should have known this. It was freaking Carlos Vela.
Yep. Carlos Vela, dude. 34 goals in a single season in the year 2019.
Yeah, frick, dude. I was I can't remember what I was looking at. I was looking at some stats for for the rivalry weekend post, and Carlos Vela was on there, so I should have known. Should have
known. Yeah, but just so you're aware, I mean, he's a little bit behind because given we're like somewhat a third of the way, he's a little bit behind, but I think he definitely could if he has a big game, big couple weeks, he definitely could beat the 34. But it's a tall order, right? So Ty Baribo, cracking one open for you, my dog.
Ooh.
Bang bang. Okay, and then. Lastly, for my pour one out, I kind of went over a couple different ones to pour one out this time. I definitely could have given it to a ref that had a hard time this week. Could have given it to St. Louis. which has been having a hard time recently. But I'm going to have to give it to Charlotte FC because they've dropped both of the games this week on Wednesday as well as on Saturday. On Wednesday, dude, they lose 3-1, and then on Saturday they lose 4-1, dude. I mean, only having 2 goals and then just getting what is it, 7 goals scored on you? Like, dude, that's rough. It's so weird because Charlotte was just, I think we mentioned this before, like they were just a team where you kind of had a lot of expectations and they had a lot of good players coming in, and there was some hype around them, right? And then now it's like just slowly like, hey, this is legit. This is a league where you got to win. You got to score goals. You got to play defense. You got to do all the things right to win. And they couldn't do it. So pouring one out for you, Charlotte FC. Y'all need to figure it out. Y'all got to get something going. But, there's definitely, plenty of games left to be played. So you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, this year's definitely been one of those years where you kind of, those teams you expect to be good aren't as good, and then people come in out of freaking nowhere. Like I guess, I don't know if I want to say out of nowhere, but the Vancouver Whitecaps, they came in and they're dominating the league. So
That's legit. Yeah,
yeah.
They definitely are doing really well. So. But solid stuff, man. Good crack performances. Something that we'll also kind of go. We'll continue to share with all of you our crack performances every single week. Let us know too if anybody that we picked, any team, any player that we picked was also a top performer for you guys, as well as our pour one outs. Did you guys also have some worst performances that we thought were worst performances? Like, did you guys agree? Or is there somebody else, some other team, some other players, specific players that you guys thought, hey, these guys just had a bad day, bad game, bad week? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Like and share it with your friends, and let us know. We'd love to engage with you guys. But that was the correct performances of the week. Going right into the next segment here, I think we have to give the rivalry week some time to kind of go over and see kind of how this all went down. Because what was it? I think there was like 8 rivalry games this week, which is plenty of like rivalries. I think it's almost like when you think about the NCAA football games, and there's that last game of the week of the season, and everybody just plays the rivals, and that's just kind of what it's like, right? Not with the same hype of being the last game, but definitely lots of rivalries nonetheless. But kind of just looking into this, the MLS put out some communication around rivalry week. And to start it off, man, I mean, like you mentioned in your correct performances, Toronto FC, dude, they scored 6-1 against Montreal, which made history, right? History for Toronto. The most goals scored in a single game for them, at 6. So that's kind of wild. It's kind of wild to think about.
Against your rivals is crazy too. You'd be like breaking records against them. So
exactly. And then I think you mentioned also with Bernadeschi, right?
Yeah.
He kind of came in and had 2 goals, 2 assists. First to ever do it in a single match for Toronto. But at the end of the day, dude, like you said, just Toronto just kind of picked it up. They did what they had to do to kind of get this win. So hats off to them. And then I don't know, did you get a chance to see the Hudson River Derby? 2-0, man. I mean, I think, did we all go for Red Bulls on this one?
Yeah. From
what the heck were we thinking?
Unless I messed something up, but I think you're right. I think yeah, because the New York Red Bulls just recently came off a pretty good game, so I think that's kind of why
we went the Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh damn, we got bamboozled, bro. We thought they were good because they beat the Galaxy. We gotta remember, yeah, they beat the Galaxy 7-0. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I responded to somebody in the comments, in one of our social media posts where I was like, you know what, it makes sense why the New York City FC was the one team that's won title. I feel like
title. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with the 2 finalists of the MLS Cup. I mean,
true.
New York Red Bull are not on the same level as Galaxy of being
right
bad, but they're a decent team. I feel like it's just one of those games where I don't know what it is about teams and having so much possession and then you just get cooked. So
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to score some goals. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you got to keep the ball. You can play the whole tiki taka, the whole Pep Guardiola type of football. You know what I mean? Like, just keep the ball away from everybody. Yeah, the whole Barcelona way of playing. But like, dude, you got to have these guys that score some goals. So, they showed it like we mentioned against LA Galaxy, but for the fact that they lost to New York City like 2-0 in the rivalry, like it is what it is, right? It does say here that goalkeeper Matt Freese became the second keeper in the club history to record at least 6 shutouts in the team's first 14 matches of a year, which is joining Sean Johnson, who accomplished the feat 3 times. So a little bit interesting there, but that Hudson River Derby is very cool. It's definitely one of those games that we want to try to get, maybe one day in the future, try to get out to. So if you were at the game, if you experienced this, please let us know. We'd love to just, maybe in the future be able to get out to this game.
What's it like
Um,
watching a game in a baseball stadium?
yeah, I didn't know this. Did you know that they play that New York City FC not just plays in Yankee Stadium, but they also play in the Mets Stadium? So they play in both.
Why? Oh, is it probably because like if one team's
Scheduling,
playing
maybe.
during that? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Okay, that
I
makes
had no
sense.
idea though. I thought they were just strictly Yankee Stadium, but I guess
Yeah, because I
somebody
think
told me that it's both.
they also have like the smallest field in the MLS just because it's
Yeah.
inside of a baseball stadium. So
Yeah, yeah, cool. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know how much truth there is to it. I didn't like double check it, but it was a little bit interesting. And then going into the next one, the Texas Derby, dude. I saw some little bit of heated players during this one. This one was kind of fun, dude. It did mention Houston Dynamo won their first road match against FC Dallas since 2011. So what is it? 10, 14
14
years?
years.
Jeez, that's crazy.
It's been 14 years.
Yeah. So
Well,
securing a
not technically
2-0
14,
victory.
but close to it just because it was in
Yeah,
September.
for
Yeah.
sure. But this one was good, man. I thought Acosta, who I thought was gonna, kind of be a baller in this one and kind of help them win, did not kind of help them win this game. But he did get heated. There was a couple altercations here and there during this rivalry game where you were kind of like, oh, these guys might fight, they might duke it out, which is kind of what we want to see. We want to see, kind of that animosity, that that kind of that hunger, that drive to win the game and not really like care about this other team. Like, yes, we're all playing at the end of the day, like we're all trying to, entertain, but like they did not care. They
I
did not
want I
help each
want
other out
games
these fights.
canceled because they're fighting. I want somebody knocked out and a game canceled. Just
We want some hockey style soccer
yeah,
games, guys. Come on here.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that one was a fun one to watch. And then the Rocky Mountain Cup. I did Google what Rocky Mountain oysters are. And y'all also let me know in the comments. So
Hmm.
thank you very much for those amazing images in my brain. But I got to ask though, too, you knew what that was. Is it because you've had some?
Yeah, bro, they're
You
good.
really
You've never
have?
had? Yeah, you've never had
Oh
any?
my gosh. You have not. There's
Yeah,
no way.
the best part is it has mayo like installed
Oh my
already.
gosh, stop. Stop saying that. Oh my goodness.
Even yeah, no, I've never had it, but I have heard it before. Um,
It has
I swear
mayo. You're
there's
so ridiculous.
I think I swear some Colorado like sports team or something sells them at like their stadium. I could be tripping, but I swear
Hmm,
I'll I'll know for sure. I can look it up, but I
got
could have
it.
sworn I've seen somebody like sells them at like a sporting stadium or something like that.
Honestly, like here's the thing. Like it sounds absolutely disgusting. And for those of you watching, Google it. I don't really want to repeat it what it is. It's post testicles. But I've never had them. I didn't even know what they were. But y'all let me know. To be completely honest, I don't know if I could like try them. But if you've tried them before, if you're from Colorado, if you've ever been to a game in Colorado and you've had some Rocky Mountain oysters, dude, let me know how it was. Was it a heavenly experience? I'm very curious. Not saying I would
I,
ever try them, but if push came to shove,
See, I was right. The Rocky Mountain oysters are available at Coors Field, home of the
oh,
Colorado
Rockies,
Rockies. Yeah.
dude. Oh, okay, we might have to go to Rockies game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um,
They
yeah,
don't look
but I
too
don't know. I
bad.
don't know
It
if I
comes
could do
with
it.
some fries and some dipping sauce. Honestly, it doesn't look here.
I don't know. I feel like
Ah,
it's just like it's got to be cooked all the way through, bro. Like if
I've had,
I'm if you bite into that and you're getting oozed over, like I'm done. There's no way. You know what
no
I mean?
Oh, let me see. Oh, is it gonna these freaking news places, man? I'm not paying you $20 to look at one article. I was gonna show you guys a picture, but we'll
Don't
see.
show a picture.
Honestly, it just looks like chicken tenders,
Like chicken
like
tenders.
chicken breasts.
They're
Yeah,
probably
but
just super deep fried. Yeah,
honestly,
battered and stuff.
yeah, maybe
I'm sure you'd be
we'll have to
down.
go out and try it. Yeah, wouldn't be
uh,
my first time.
okay. Yeah, maybe we'll try them out. But Rocky Mountain Cup, man. Colorado Rapids still in that win against Real Salt Lake, just 1-0 with a goal from Mihailovic. Dude, the guy's a baller too. I think we mentioned him a couple times, but he definitely, is just a baller all
Is
around. I
that the
think
guy
he's a
you
really great
mentioned like
player.
a couple weeks ago or a
Yeah,
week ago?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's definitely like their best player, I think.
yeah.
Um,
It's only
but he had the lone
26 too.
goal. It says that it recorded. Let's see. It says here. Let me just read this off so you guys can kind of see. The Rocky Mountain Cup went to Colorado Rapids on match day 14 as Cole Bassett found Mihailovic for the game's lone goal in a 1-0 game against RSL. Bassett, which is Cole Bassett who assisted, said who recorded his 50th goal contribution with the club in the win. He has 3 goals, 3 assists in the last 4 matches against RSL. So, going to be interesting for the next round when they come over here to Salt Lake for the last bit, because I'm pretty sure they kind of do the whole trophy thing for the second rivalry game, kind of like that game de vuelta, type of thing. So it should be interesting to watch that one. But yeah, dude, hats off to you, Colorado. Go celebrate with some Rocky Mountain oysters. Solid job. And then we also had Orlando City against Miami. Dude, I don't think anybody saw this one coming unless you're like a diehard Orlando fan. But Orlando, dude, 3-0 against Miami in the Clásico del Sol. I still love the sound of that. Awesome name for a rivalry game. But dude, I think people online are just starting to say more and more like, yo, Mascherano, you might be in the hot seat at this point. Like, what do you think about that? Like, yes, they've dropped a couple games, but they were undefeated up until what, game week 10, maybe match day 10 or something.
Yeah, yeah, they were. I mean, they were undefeated, but a lot of those were ties. They don't play bad. I watch them play enough. They play good football. They pass the ball well. They do everything well besides score goals.
Oh man,
And
heck,
I know they have Luis Suarez up top, and they have Messi, and
he's definitely showing
Messi
his age,
Messi
man.
honestly has never been like like a striker.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can't say the person you expect to score goals because I always expect them to score a goal.
I
Um,
think this whole team expects him to
yeah,
score goals.
but I feel like Suarez is there, but every time I watch them play, I just feel like they're playing without a striker or something. Like he's, at the beginning of the season, I was saying that I felt like he wasn't good enough, or like he kind of like is not up to that level anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's kind of showing now. I think the third week, he scored like 4 goals, and I think since then he hasn't scored a goal.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just honestly like it just sucks. Because the team the team like can play bad and do all this, and then I'm trying to see how many goals. Look, he has 2 goals and 4 assists, and
that's for the whole season.
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
season. So yeah, it's hasn't been the best. But yeah, I just think they need somebody up top, like a good striker. Like I hate saying a good striker because they have Suarez. It's like he's the
Yeah, but
legend. He's old. Like
yeah, exactly.
and
And
they
this
brought
is
in
a very fast league. He's just not,
yeah, and
he's
it's
not there anymore.
like going from that game to watching El Tráfico is like a whole 180. Like I felt
Yeah.
like that. Obviously, like Inter Miami play very slow ball. They're like doing this, touching the ball, doing whatever, but then you get countered and it's done. It's over with. So they just needed to find somebody to score goals because they brought in Alan Abondo, and he's only 18 years old. Which I feel like Lamine Yamal and some of these other younger players out in Europe kind of like ruined it for some of these other
Mm,
youngsters because now everybody just expects them to be like amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
But you know what? Like I feel like if they just need to like give him more time because they're not. I feel like he should be starting, like start him 2-3 games, kind of give him those minutes, get him those reps with the entire team to be able to get comfortable. And yeah, and I think he can help out the team. I don't know how he hasn't played the best when he does play, but give him more minutes. I feel like it's hard to judge a player off a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Start them once or twice, and then maybe you can tell if they're
Yeah.
not the best. So
Yeah, it is difficult to say, to like kind of see him like not be his peak, like not be like the player he was like with Liverpool and Barcelona, right? But it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, like age catches up to everybody. There's a lot of young guys playing in this league, and they're just gonna like run around you if you can't keep up, right?
I know, and unfortunately, his attitude has stayed the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, they lost 3-0. It's actually an interesting stat here. It did say that they lost, and it was, what was it? I believe the Inter Miami lost for the first time 3-0 at their home since playing FC Cincinnati on October 7th of 2023. So they've never lost 3-0. They haven't lost 3-0 in what, 2 years now? Almost 2 years at this
No, no,
point.
no, no, no. They were it was the first time they've been shut out at
First time they've been
home
shut out at home.
since October 7th, 2023 by FC
Mm,
Cincinnati. So
yep.
they usually score goals. So.
Yeah. Well, that sucks, man. I mean, at the end of the day, the crowd didn't have anything to cheer for, so can't have those shutouts, man. That sucks. And then we had the big one, I think, of Sunday, right? El Tráfico, LA Galaxy versus LAFC. Your boy Royce, secured that brace with 2 goals. But I think, like you said, man, this was just a fun game to watch. Like, there was action, and I think LA actually came out like they wanted to win this game. They were hungry for it from the start of the game. Like, if you watch this game, like they were attacking the goal. And then obviously, kind of having the 2 goals, and then, a couple, like you said, a couple offsides here and there. Like they were trying to win this game, and they didn't just kind of get, shut down or let down after they conceded twice, right? So definitely one for the books. Yes, it was a tie. Yes, we don't love to kind of discuss ties, but this was a good rivalry, man. And the goals from Marco Royce were sick. At least the free kick was. And then, dude, Dennis Bawanga, dude, was just a freaking banger, man. Just absolutely lighting that up versus Lloris. So who's the goalie for? Was it Lloris?
Yeah.
Is he for Galaxy?
Ogo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun game to watch, dude. Did you get a chance to see most of it? Did you see this?
Yeah, I watched the entire game. Yeah, it was a really good game. That first Royce goal. After they scored, I was like, hey, at least it's gonna be a good game because I knew that LAFC wasn't gonna lose 1-0.
Right.
And let me double check. So yeah, so Royce scored in the 6th minute, and then about 7 minutes after that, Boanga scored, and it was a pretty good goal.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. I was watching the game. I think I might have joined in a little bit late because during halftime I just stopped watching. Then I come back, and I came in like right after Ordon scored, so I did miss his goal. But yeah, no, it's. I'm not a fan. I'm a neutral, of both these teams, so I don't care who wins. I mean, I probably want Galaxy to win more just because of Royce. But I'm a neutral, so anytime there's like a good game like this, I mean, it ends 2-2. It would have been crazy to see LAFC win away and see the fans go crazy, or have freaking the Galaxy. Imagine having them score or win their first game of the year against their rivals. That would have been a crazy scene. So as much as it was a fun game, I wish one of the two would have won.
Yeah, for sure. And there definitely was moments where they could have won. Peck had 2 great opportunities at the very end.
That one, he was inside the box, gets his left foot. He has time. I see the goal. I see like that top corner. I'm like, oh, it's going to go right there. And you just see it go right over the goal.
Yeah, it was like the 88th minute too. That would have like sealed the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a couple of chances, that one, and then they called an offsides, which at the very beginning they kind of let it roll out, and then they like finally checked it and it was offsides, and it kind of looked offsides if you looked at it.
Yeah.
But it was definitely one of those where you were like, oh man, like if he was just a step behind, he probably still would have got it. could have scored, but he had that opportunity, right? And then I think there was a little bit of like stuff online about that there should have been a penalty right there where I forget who they fouled, but somebody like I think they barely touched him
Oh
if
yeah, it was the
anything.
guy I was telling you about, Paintsel, where
So,
like
okay,
the
yeah,
defender kind of like stuck his leg out, and
yeah,
I mean,
dude, that
like
wasn't a penalty.
yeah,
Come
I
on.
mean the commentators were saying like, you know what, even though it's not a lot, it's still like a foul technically. So,
Mhm.
but I'm all like, it's whatever. Like
I think don't be
they should,
soft,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I mean, who was that guy you said like freaking scored his first goal and then got that soft red? So
Oh, with
for the Houston Dynamo.
Fatimi, Abudesu.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, but yeah, no, I mean, you can't rely on those,
yeah.
challenges or stuff to go your way. So, I was gonna say something. Oh, I was gonna say that the freaking like the sideline refs or what do they call it? The line refs?
Mhm.
I don't know if he didn't pull the flag, but I just feel like they need to like do something because
Yeah.
the entire time I just hear like the announcer at the game like saying Peck's name, all the fans celebrating,
Yeah.
Peck going in doing this to like some dude's phone, and I'm just like, okay, calm down, because I'm pretty sure that was offsides. Like I
Yeah.
was watching it, and I'm like, the sideline refs need to like,
Yeah.
put the flag just to be safe. They're gonna check it anyways.
Hmm.
Mark it offsides and maybe like stop the celebration a little bit. And then after, if it wasn't offsides, then they can celebrate. But it just kind of sucks seeing all those celebrations for nothing. That's
Yeah.
the one thing I hate about VAR is like,
Yeah.
the fans are having a good time and then it gets ruined. But I
Yeah.
mean,
It is interesting. I do agree. I think when it's like if you're a lineman like ref and you're seeing this, you're like, yeah, that's offsides. You know what I mean? Like, just call the damn thing, right? But I can also see like, hey, like imagine if he called offsides and like Gabriel Peck, like, he hears the fan saying like, oh, it's offsides,
well,
and he stops and he doesn't shoot
yeah.
it, and they review it and it's like, hey, it was never offsides, and so
Well,
now
I mean,
instead of like
after
giving
he
him that,
scores, because
oh, I
like
see what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah.
like
They
in
call it
like
after.
and I mean, I watch a lot of La Liga games, but like after they like score, if they're offsides, they'll usually you'll see the lineman like just straight up put the offsides flag up just to kind of be safe in a sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
because most of the time they review a goal regardless whether it's offsides
yeah.
or not, unless it's like a super obvious like nothing happened. But
Yeah, for sure.
so yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting for sure. But I mean, obviously, if he was just a step behind, half a step behind, dude, he would have won that. He could have won that game for him. So, at the end of the day, they did tie to 2-2. But also a little bit interesting, kind of going into this next little topic. A lot of draws during this week. I believe there were, and correct me, man, let me know. There was plenty of 0-0 draws during this week, Wednesday and Saturday. And from my understanding, we're on pace for breaking, the MLS is on pace for breaking the most 0-0 draws in a single season.
Yeah, which the current record right now is 31, which was in the 23 season. And I believe what the pace was like to get 60 this year. So that like completely
Wild.
doubling the record. But I believe it was 8-0-0 draws. And that honestly, like now that like they brought it up in that article or whatever, I was every time I like watched, because I watched the scores because we're always picking who we
Uh-huh.
think we're going to win,
Yeah.
and I feel like I always see so many 0-0 draws. So I'm just glad that like it didn't seem off to me, that it just seemed like there were so many 0-0s this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're on pace to get 60 for the whole year, that's a lot of 0-0 draws every week. So
Yeah.
honestly, like just on a Saturday, let me see. Why is
Saturday.
this not doing
Saturday we
the
had
computer? I think it
one,
was like four,
two,
right? Or six.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Four.
Yep.
Okay, so then it was six because there was two on Wednesday. So it was
Yeah. And
six
I was at one
in
of
a
those
week.
games. I
Yeah.
went to RSL versus Portland Timbers, and it was
Oh,
0-0.
what a good
I
game.
love going to a game. Believe me, I think there's nothing more fun than to waste 2 hours of my life watching a soccer game, especially if it's 2-0. Like I'll do that. That's fine. I don't care. But damn, guys, 0-0. Come on.
Especially like the Portland Timbers have been a really good team. So like, I mean, I guess if RSL doesn't score, at least Timbers put like six past them or something. You
Yeah,
know.
you would expect, right? You would think.
But
Pretty nuts, man. Yeah, so we're definitely on pace to have some quite a bit of 0-0 draws in the MLS. But hey, MLS teams, everybody out there, you guys got to score more goals. We want to see more goals. Everybody wants to see more goals. Let's freaking get after it, man. Let's give these forwards the ball and let's put them away. Come on,
yes,
let's do
sir.
this.
Sir.
So very interesting stat there. Next up, we do have some action this week before the weekend. So we do have the U.S. Open Cup, which is a little bit interesting. We've talked about it a little bit here and there, just kind of with the MLS teams being in this. But just so everybody's aware, we do have some games tomorrow, May 21st, Tuesday, May 21st. First and foremost, New England plays Chicago. San Jose will play Portland. Evening games, right? And then on Wednesday, May 20, or sorry, tomorrow, May 21, Wednesday, May 22nd should be. I think it's a little bit, I think this website's wrong. No, tomorrow's the 20th. So tomorrow is May 20th.
Tomorrow,
And
yeah,
then,
tomorrow's the 20th.
yeah, it says May, it says
Why does it
tomorrow,
say
May
tomorrow,
21.
May 21?
I don't know. See, that's why it was all
Weird.
off. But yeah, on Wednesday, May 21, we will have 6 games for the U.S. Open Cup, the oldest cup, the oldest tournament in U.S. soccer. Very interesting.
Unk
Um,
status.
but this is basically, yeah, unk status. But this is basically kind of the play-in tournament right in the U.S. Very cool cup that's being played. But if you notice on here, one team is a little bit of an outlier. There's only one USL team going into the round of 16 for the U.S. Open Cup, which is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and they do play Philadelphia Union, which is a little interesting, right? I think we were talking about this a little bit beforehand. Both teams out of Pennsylvania. Maybe one day it's a rivalry. Hopefully, this is a really good game. This is probably the only game I'm going to watch this week in terms of the U.S. Open Cup. The rest, I really hope they play some of their first teams, but they could rest their guys and wait for the regular season game this weekend. But interesting here, man. I mean, Philadelphia Union versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Riverhounds got 0 injuries here. Philly's a little bit banged up here and there, but nonetheless, they are the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference right now. With I mean, look at their past 5 games; they haven't lost. Pittsburgh coming off of a loss. So a little bit interesting here, but I believe you had a little bit of digging too. That's another rivalry in the MLS kind of came about somewhat similarly to what these guys are potentially could do, right?
Yeah. So Columbus Crew actually played FC Cincinnati in the U.S. Open Cup when they were part of the USL. So that was like their first ever matchup, and Cincinnati actually ended up winning that game and knocking them out of the U.S. Open Cup. So like everybody, like not everybody, but most people sometimes forget that there's more soccer in the U.S. than just the MLS. There's a lot of these like semi-pro teams. Like the USL and stuff like that, where they're not usually as big as some of these teams, but it kind of reminds me of what's that cup that they have out in England where they kind of do the same thing, where they play like the lower
FA,
league
I think.
teams.
FA
Yeah,
Cup, no?
yeah, I think that's what it is.
Or the
Because
Carabao, one of those.
it's like the craziest thing is like look at like the Pittsburgh Riverhounds last 5 games. The only team they've beat was New York City FC,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
wild.
is crazy. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna. It's not looking too hot. But these teams have really cool names, cool logos, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, they definitely have some interesting. Yeah, I think the logos definitely are on par with a lot of others in MLS and around the world. Honestly,
do
a
they
little bit
play
interesting here.
in?
They're the USL Championship and then the Eastern
Well,
Conference.
do they play at the Philly Stadium or their stadium?
They're
Do
going
you
to be
know,
in Philadelphia Union. Yep. So it's going to be
bruh?
Subaru Park. So they
Look,
will
they've
be
had the
there.
same coach for a minute too. If you scroll
Oh
up a
yeah,
little bit.
Liley.
Same guy.
Bob Liley. Let's go, big
Yes,
dog.
sir. I
59
won
years old.
123 games, drawn
Oh, that's a pretty
66,
good
and lost
record, man.
62.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No wonder
That's a
he's been there for a while.
50%. Yeah, 50% rate winner rating. Dude, that's wild. That's actually really good, man. Yeah, he was at Rochester, New York City. Dude, this guy's a baller. I mean, he might know what he's gonna do, but Bob, dude, you got to lead your guys to a win against Philadelphia Union, bro. This will be epic. If for some reason Pittsburgh does win this game and they knock Philadelphia out, honestly, that would be wild just to kind of see, especially kind of going into 2027 when the USL is going to kind of introduce the whole promotion relegation, where it could kind of compete with the MLS, right? I think we've mentioned this before, where you never know, in the future there could be a merger with the MLS and USL. We could have a completely different league in the future, and then maybe these two, become the new hell is real in the future. You never know.
I would hate to say it, but I kind of do want the Pittsburgh Riverhounds to win, just because
Absolutely.
you always want to see the underdogs win and kind of bring their name out, bring some of the USL fame into the MLS. But
Oh, for sure.
and they
For
do
sure.
play at the Philadelphia Union. I
Yeah.
looked it up just to be safe, but just
Yeah.
to be sure.
Oh, it's gonna be on Paramount. Dang, I think I do have Paramount, but see, that's the thing is you gotta have some of these games like the U.S. Open Cup. Play it on
They
YouTube
they,
or
they
something.
they make it so hard just to be able to
Yeah.
watch a game. I'm like, oh, I have this. Ah, dang it! Now I gotta make freaking 20 different emails just so I can watch a game every week.
Yeah, exactly. But this will be a good one, guys. Anybody else watching? If you're a fan of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, let us know. If you're going to the game, let us know. This would be a sweet one to watch. Definitely going to be one that if we have an opportunity to watch it, definitely going to sit down and take a look. As far as the rest of the games, DC United, Charlotte, Minnesota versus St. Louis, New York Red Bulls versus FC Dallas, Orlando, Nashville, and Austin versus Houston. Another one, I guess San Jose versus Portland could be a pretty good one tomorrow, that evening game. I believe San Jose is about 8th or so place or 6th place in the Western Conference. Portland might be about 8th. Or it could be vice versa. I don't remember exactly, but they're pretty close to each other, so that could
I
be a
want.
good one.
I wonder if they, like you said, if they play their starters though, because if you think about it, they
Yeah.
played Wednesday or either Saturday
Yeah.
or Sunday,
Mhm.
Saturday, because
Yeah.
at least or Orlando played on Sunday actually.
Mm-hmm.
But so then they'd have to play again Tuesday or Wednesday, and then play again Saturday or Sunday. So I wonder.
Yep.
We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
it'll be interesting to see who actually gets some playing time. So, yeah, we'll see. I think San Jose can take that one against Portland. Hopefully, I would definitely root for them. And then I think, we'll kind of see if St. Louis can kind of continue their in tournament, play in tournament vibes going with kind of winning, because regular season wise they're 10 games without winning a game. So, hopefully they can kind of get a win there. And then Orlando just riding high, man. If they beat Nashville, good on them. And then, yeah, I think maybe Austin as well as Houston, that can be a pretty good one. They're both kind of middle of the pack, maybe, I think, and that could be a little bit interesting too. But that is the U.S. Open Cup, man. Going to be a little interesting, but at the end of the day, I think everybody's kind of rooting for you, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Get it done, man. Bob, was that his name? Bob or
Bob,
Rob or something?
I think it was Bob.
Oh, was it Bob? Fuck.
Scroll down, or click
Now
on
we just
Bob.
forgot.
Bob
Liley.
Lilly.
Oh, come on, Bob. Get it done. Bob Liley. Let's do it. Win the game.
Liley or Lily?
Liley. I don't know.
Double L's.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what it is.
Lily.
Solid. Okay, sweet. So there is the U.S. Open Cup predictions. Yeah, man, I think that's kind of it for mainly the topics. I can't think of anything else here.
I did want to. I don't know. Do you want to talk about? Because I had some things I kind of wanted to say about the Galaxy extending Greg Vanny.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
So I don't know if you wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
that.
dude, go into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
So I know a lot of people were kind of like not mad, or maybe some Galaxy fans were mad, but most of the people were like shocked to see him be extended, especially after the way
give
they
us the
started
details.
the
What
season.
happened?
Yeah. So what was it? Sometime last week they extended Greg Vanny's contract. Where
Is it as big as?
it's a 3-year deal through 2028 will make him the highest paid coach without a dual sporting director title. So
3 years.
so until 2028. So
There's
they
no price tag on it that they put on there.
let me see. It says the highest paid. I can't see it
Hmm.
on this article. It doesn't say what the number is, but I'll get it to you here in a bit.
Curious if he cashed out like Brock Purdy over there for the 49ers with that 5 year. Would he get like 260, 250?
Yeah, something like that
Dude,
for doing
wild.
nothing, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You can't say that he's not good, but
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, I just kind of wanted to say, I respected it, and I actually kind of liked that they were like doubled down on their coach, and showed confidence in your coach, because I feel like in soccer nowadays, and I mean, it is all about winning, and especially if you're a big team like the LA Galaxy, if you're not winning, especially after coming off of a title, you kind of see the coach and you're like, oh, like what's going on? Like a lot of teams would fire their coach, but I kind of like the Galaxy, like I said, that they extended him and kind of were like, you know what, we have confidence in our coach. Like we lost some key players to transfer to injury, and kind of not putting all the blame on the coach. I feel like that kind of gives some of the players confidence that the team, like like they kind of understand they're like not just like out to win, which the most they do want to win, but they
Right.
also want to show that even when we're not winning, we have your back, and it's not like as soon as you mess up, you're out of here. So I feel like that's kind of what I wanted to say. I feel like it was a good look for the LA Galaxy, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely agree. And honestly, I think, too, if they did end up leaving him or letting him go, like, do you think he would have gotten a job somewhere else? I think he definitely would have been picked up by
Yeah,
somebody. Like,
100%.
yeah, he's having a bit of a rough go right now. But the guy is what? He's won 69 games in total. He's lost 64. So he's about 40%, right? 40% win rate right now. So it's a little bit interesting kind of with what the season is, how the season's playing out right now. But, like you said, the fact that they're staying behind them and just kind of saying, hey, look, we believe in what you're doing. It says a lot, right? It says a lot about the organization. So hats off to LA Galaxy. But I'm going to be the bearer of bad news, dude. It's like, imagine showing up to work every single day. You're expected to do a job every single week, week in and week out, and you never do that job for 14 weeks. It's hard for somebody to be like, oh, we're going to keep you. And actually, you know what? We're going to give you a raise just because you've been you're doing your job.
Well,
Yeah.
but then it's like, you know what? Like you were performing really well last year, but this
Mm-hmm.
year we weren't able to get you're the screwdriver you need to make your job easier. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
they're not able to like give him like the strikers, the players and stuff like that because of certain contract and like the way the
But he
MLS
got a new one
works.
last year. He got a new screwdriver last year. He has a nice
And
one. He has nice ones.
they won last year, but yeah, I mean, I get it, I
True.
understand, because like I wanted to, because like as well, like CF Montreal, I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you know this about them, but they had Wilfred Nancy as their head
Yeah.
coach for a
Mm-hmm.
while, and it's a little bit different, because he kind of left due to some supposedly because he wanted to join the Columbus Crew, which obviously he did, but there was some friction with the owner and some sort
Mm.
of incident that happened after Sporting Kansas, and it just goes to show, like, yes, they are horrible this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like these, like after they extended him, these last two games honestly haven't been the worst ever. I feel like it shows that they still have a team that can compete. They just need
Yeah.
to be able to learn how to finish.
Yeah.
So I respect it. I get it. He should be doing his job, but so should the people on the field.
Yeah. For
He's not
sure.
the only one to blame.
For
So
sure.
I do respect the Galaxy giving. Um, I feel like it's kind of like a boost of morale
Yeah.
for like everybody
Hundred
just being like, you
percent.
know what? Even though we suck,
They're loyal.
they're loyal to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't know. Maybe that's why they have been playing better these last few games. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I
So
mean, at the end of the day, you tied against the fifth place team in the Western Conference. Like that's hats off to you. Like that's pretty good. LAFC is
and you
definitely
almost
a
beat
very
the
good
number
team.
one, or they're not the number one team in the Eastern Conference actually, but
Oh, Philly. Yeah, they
yeah,
almost did. I mean, right?
yeah.
They
So
are the number one. Philly
oh, they
is.
are, yeah. So it's like they're it's starting to come in. You know, the injuries
Yeah,
happened. It seems like they're starting to play better as a team. Peck needs a little bit more time from what I saw, but Royce is kind of getting there. You know, 2 assists, 2 goals. Hopefully, they can
yeah,
keep that
he's
momentum
stride.
going.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that's a good point. Vaney, or however you say your last name, Coach. Uh, good for you. Good for you for getting that extension. I think they can definitely turn it around. Can it happen this week? We'll find out, right? Going right into the picks, man. We won't go into every single pick. Just kind of going over it, kind of how we have been doing it here lately. Kind of checking out some of the more anticipated, highly anticipated games, just to kind of look at it, and then we'll kind of post our entire picks later on this week, right before the weekend. So to start it off, man, Saturday, May 24th. I think when you kind of look at this, there's a couple games that probably stick out a little bit here. First and foremost, right, 2:45 games, San Diego FC versus LA Galaxy. Should be a little bit interesting, man. Like you mentioned, LA Galaxy. Yes, they haven't been playing. They haven't won these past 2 games from last week, but they definitely have been playing a lot better and going up against a pretty good San Diego FC team, which could be a little bit interesting. But could this be the game that LA Galaxy needs to kind of get back on top? Curious, man. I think this is a top game for me on Saturday. What do you think on this one?
Yeah. This should be a really good game. I'll definitely have to tune in. Um, and I don't know. I feel like the Galaxy could get their win this week, for sure. Um, San Diego has is definitely one of the better teams this past within the year. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Yeah, see third in the West, Galaxy at the very bottom with 4. So 4 points.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. I mean, it's a tough one to call, man. And I think they're going to be at Snapdragon. Yeah, they're going to be in San
yeah,
Diego. I think it's a tough one. But like you said, if they play like they played against LAFC, they can 100% beat the San Diego team.
yeah, or not even just LAFC against Philadelphia as well. You know,
Yeah,
so yeah, they have to play well and defend well. You know,
yeah. At
I
the
don't
end
know
of the day.
who's to blame for that confidence stuff in the back, but they need to
Yeah,
get that figured out. So
yeah. Should be interesting. I still probably think San Diego could pull this one off, but just kind of going into this, I think it can go either way. So it should be an interesting and fun game with that San Diego team. Next up, kind of the one that sticks out, kind of more towards the middle of the week, going to have to be that Philadelphia Union versus Inter Miami game. Two top teams, right? I mean, at least it was two top teams. Philadelphia Union clearly being a number one in the Eastern Conference, but Miami now dropping down to sixth and possibly even dropping down to in the rankings. So this will be an interesting one just to kind of see, like, okay, Messi mentioned this before or after the game against Orlando. He said, "Hey, look, this is hard, this is difficult. We've been losing some games, but this is where you find out, right? This is where you find out what this team is made of. This is where you find out, if they can come together, if they can get it done, if they can push forward and win some games. Can they do it against this Philadelphia Union team that is just steamrolling everybody?" What do you think, dude? What are you thinking here?
honestly, with the way they're playing, it's not looking good. Philadelphia is a really good team. They're tied in first place with FC Cincinnati, and they have 13 goals, a positive 13 goal difference. So they either are scoring goals. And what is Inter Miami? I mean, they're not bad. It's +3. So um, I don't know. I'm always gonna pick Inter Miami regardless. um,
Nice.
but yeah,
They're playing
I don't
in
know. I don't know if
Philadelphia.
they are playing in Philadelphia, but I just don't know if Drake Callender, their goalie, he's out until July, so 2 more months. Um,
Dang.
because I don't want to blame Ustari because he's been pretty good. You know, he's definitely saved the team a couple times, which is their goalie.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I don't know, like being the goalie. See, look, just look at the.
It's a
Obviously, those ratings don't always show everything, but like the defense has not been the best.
yeah
And what's his name? They have that one defender.
on the right
Um,
side.
no, it's I'll tell you right now. He's Thomas Avilas is his
Oh,
name.
okay.
He's a young guy. He's 21 years old. If you go to the squad, like down a little bit, and right there, go up over, done, 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 right there. Yeah,
Tomas.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he was honest last year, and then at the beginning of this year, he was a pretty good like starter for them, and I actually liked how he played. And I feel like he's pretty decent, but I don't know what Mascherano. I mean, I can kind of tell because he's made some pretty like reckless challenges where he's had like a couple red cards this year.
One.
So
Yeah.
that's one in the MLS, but I know in like
The
the
U.S. Open.
Champions Cup
Oh,
and
champions. Yeah,
stuff
you're
like
right.
that, he got like some red cards, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of like lost Mascherano's confidence in him or something, where he just feels like he's scared to play him because he might, do something where he gets a red card and he's missing now they're down a player. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I liked how he plays. I just feel like Mascherano needs to play around with the team a little bit more.
Yeah, that's
It's
true. I can't believe he hasn't really been playing him. That is
Yeah.
interesting.
And
He
then
wasn't
play
playing pretty
play
well.
your other striker. Like I love Suarez, he's one of the greatest strikers in the history of the game. But it's not working. Yeah, that guy right there,
Bando.
Alan Obando. So we'll see, we'll
Yeah,
see.
at
So
29. He's on loan. Oh, he's on
look, well,
loan.
yeah. So we'll see.
Oh, on loan here. Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
I
Yeah,
hope.
we'll see.
I honestly I don't think Inter Miami will win, but I'll always go down with the ship.
Okay, sounds good. Well, even if it
I
means
don't
losing a
care if I
pink one.
finish last in my picks. I'm still picking Inter Miami.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna go with Philadelphia. I mean, they're just red hot, like I said, but there's definitely gonna be an interesting game nonetheless.
Yeah.
If Inter Miami get this win, like good on them, but it would be interesting to see. If Philadelphia does lose on Tuesday to Pittsburgh, like do they just open it up and say, hey, we're just gonna let everybody out on Saturday, just kind of get it out, and then they just kind of kill Inter Miami? It'll be interesting to see that. So either way, fun matchup here, middle of the day on Saturday. And then kind of looking towards the end of the day, I probably wouldn't say these games here are necessarily super exciting, but Colorado Rapids will be playing St. Louis City. St. Louis, like we mentioned, on a 10-game losing streak 10-game winless streak for this past 10 weeks. So, that doesn't include the U.S. Open Cup. Nonetheless, they haven't won a game in 10 weeks in the regular seasons. Could be a bit of an interesting game here. Will they be able to kind of pick it back up, or can Colorado ride that win against RSL into this game? Vancouver also playing Real Salt Lake. Bit of an interesting matchup there. Vancouver's still pretty good, but I feel like we haven't really been mentioning them recently. So who knows what will happen here in the next few weeks. And then San Jose versus Houston Dynamo to end us off on Saturday, the night game right there. Houston coming off of what I think 2 wins, and then San Jose coming off of some wins as well as a 3-3 tie with Inter Miami, the offensive slugfest. So this could be a little bit of an interesting game. Probably plenty of offense as well. Just kind of given San Jose's attacking power here, but Houston does have a pretty decent defense, so this could be a bit of an interesting game as well. And then going right into the Sunday games, wouldn't say New York City, Chicago's. Well, it could be a little bit
They
interesting,
they
honestly.
they've both been playing pretty good. Chicago Fire does have
Yeah,
I
they're
can't
doing
think of
very
his
well.
name, but he's one of the top goal scorers too. I think he's in like the top 3, top 4. I
Oh,
think he has
interesting.
9 goals. Look, you'll see it.
Really?
Cypress in the
Oh
middle
yeah.
right there.
Is that his
So
name? Is that how you say his name? Cypress? Kuipers? That's not how I would say
Kuipers,
it. Ugo
Kuipers,
Kuipers.
Kuipers.
Kuipers. Yeah, so Berhalter, dude, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job with this team. So we'll kind of see how this game ends up going. New York City versus Chicago Fire, both of them coming off of a win. So could be a bit of an interesting game here to start us off on Sunday, and then to kick it off for Sunday night soccer. Oh, Atlanta United versus FC Cincinnati to finish it off. Atlanta, dude, they are struggling. And like you mentioned, FC Cincinnati basically tied for first with Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference. But Atlanta just has not been able to kind of get this ball rolling. It is going to be a Mercedes Benz, so it could be an opportunity to win there. But look at that, man. I mean, they're 14th in the Eastern. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this team, man. They just can't seem to score any goals. I mean, their goal differential is -10. Like that's pretty insane to me, to be completely honest with you, especially with a pretty decent
They got
goalkeeper with
yeah,
Kuzan. But like, dang, man, you guys got to
he's
score.
not that good. He just
I think
he
he's
lo-
pretty
he
good.
he, he looks good because he plays good against Miami, and everybody watches Miami.
Yes, he does.
I was gonna say why don't they have their top scorer right there? But I was gonna say, I mean, they have Almiron. He's a really good player. You know, he played for Newcastle for a couple years. He had that really good year against in out in England, and then they also have this guy Lath.
Yep.
He's, I think, if I remember correctly, he's like the most expensive striker in the league or something like that.
He's 12 mil.
And I mean, he's not doing bad, 5 goals, 1 assist, but I don't know whether it's the defense or what's going on where they're a -10 goal difference, but they have the team to be able to, they have Lath, they have Almiron, and, having those two players up top, I feel like that should be a really good
Mm-hmm.
like recipe for like goals and stuff. And even though I did just talk smack on Brad Guzan, he like he can save you games, like he's proven
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I don't know what they need to do, but that's
Dang,
crazy.
24 goals
24 goals
conceded.
conceded
Yeah, that's tough, man.
in
That's for
14
sure.
matches. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
that is a lot. So, bit interesting here, man. I don't know. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you have to pick FC Cincinnati. They just have, the firepower with Denke as well as Evander. Like they're just doing so well. Denke with 8 goals, man. That's pretty insane. And then Evander with 7 plus 3 assists. Like Evander, dude, he's definitely one of those like MVP seasons right now. He's doing super well. 7.7 rating. He's doing some stuff right now over there. So I think he's playing very, very well. This whole Cincinnati team is just very good. Denke, I feel like he just he has no wasted movements in anything that he does. Every movement that he does is just it's purposeful. It's something that he wants to do, and he's just scoring goals. Right, he's at the right place, right time. And he puts them away. You know what I mean? So I think he's pretty dang good. This whole Cincinnati team's really good. If Atlanta doesn't show up, if that Mercedes Benz is not rocking, it'll be a long night for them over
These
there.
these players are spending too much time at Magic City, bro. They need to spend less time there and
Yeah,
more time on the
yeah,
training
that's
grounds or
funny.
something,
Dude,
bro.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Um,
Side funny you mentioned that. So for those that don't know, I work in sales, and one of the guys that I was talking to one time as a prospect, he was from Atlanta, and I was like, hey, like what do you like to do? Like what do you like to do in Atlanta? I had a buddy or Chino that is on the show. He used to live out there. Like, what do you love about it? He's like, oh man, I spent a lot of time in Magic City. And back then I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. I was like, oh, that's the kind of fun you like to have.
yeah, I hear the wings are good. So
Yeah, exactly. I hear the wings are
Lopez
good.
was telling me that you can even DoorDash the stuff from there,
Oh, for
like
real?
food. Yeah, because I guess people go there for things. I want to go there for the
Yes.
wings.
Exactly. That's why we want to go.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, lots of games, lots of fun games coming up here. Some U.S. Open games as well midweek. So we definitely get, kind of a double match day, which will be nice. But that is all we have today. That has been episode number 14 of the Crack Soccer Podcast. Final words, my guy. Any final things you wanted to mention before we shut this one off?
No, just thank you for all the support, guys.
Yeah.
Just as always, keep liking, keep commenting, keep trying to put me in my place. I'll try and defend myself.
Defend yourself. Defend yourself to the end, forever
Yeah.
and always. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what y'all are thinking. We'd love to hear from y'all. We'll keep doing this till we're done. So appreciate y'all. This has been the Crack Soccer Podcast, episode number 14. We out. Peace.